South Korea's stock markets were sharply down on Friday, with benchmark Kospi ending below the 2,700 level on fears of a U.S. economic slowdown. Soo-jin explains.
The South Korean stock market tumbled on Friday as U.S. stocks fell on growing concerns of an economic slump. The country's benchmark Kospi closed at 2,676, down 3.65% from the previous day. This drop, mostly driven by massive sell-offs by foreign investors and institutions, marks the first time since early June that the Kospi ended below the 2,700 level. The tech-heavy Kosdaq also fell by 4.2% to end at 779. The fall comes as weak U.S. economic data and the Federal Reserve's restrictive monetary policy put all three major U.S. indexes under heavy selling pressure on Thursday local time. The latest data released by the U.S. Institute for Supply Management on Thursday showed that manufacturing PMI dropped to 46.8 in July, the lowest figure recorded in 8 months. And the employment sub-index of the manufacturing PMI also fell to the lowest level since June 2020, right after the COVID-19 pandemic. The U.S. Central Bank's Federal Open Market Committee also kept interest rates steady during its latest rate decision meeting. In a press conference on Wednesday, U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that if inflation continues to come into line with the central bank's 2% target, a rate cut could be possible in the Fed's next meeting in September.
And, I would say to Jay Powell, careful what you wish for, my friend. You were fighting for the 2% inflation. Well, to get to 2%, there's collateral damage. And collateral damage is a slowing of the economy. So market's starting to get a little nervous.
The benchmark S&P 500 fell nearly 1.4% from the previous day, the Nasdaq 2.3%, and the Dow Jones 1.2% on the first day of August. As for the domestic stock market, according to one expert, the downward trend may continue.
The market is expected to remain volatile for the time being, and in the long term, the economic slump in the U.S. is expected to exacerbate the downward pressure on the stock market.
He added that other factors such as the recent AI stock plunge may impact the domestic stock market negatively as well. Soo-jin, Arirang News.